Your child gets a phone, and suddenly the bedroom door starts locking. Less talking, more silence, more distance. Most parents think the phone changed their child, but psychology says something much deeper is happening. They assume distance means danger, silence means disrespect, privacy means secrecy, and the more anxious parents become, the more controlling they often get. But psychology says something very important here. The way parents react to this phase can either strengthen trust or slowly destroy communication. Because children may listen to rules temporarily, but emotionally they respond to how safe they feel around you. Let's talk about what actually works psychologically. 1. Don't turn privacy into a battle. The first instinct many parents have is, why are you locking the door? What are you hiding? Give me your phone. But the interesting thing about human psychology is this. The more someone feels psychologically trapped, the more secretive they usually become, especially teenagers, because adolescence is the stage where autonomy becomes emotionally important. And when privacy constantly feels attacked, the brain shifts into defense mode. That's why aggressive control often creates the exact behavior parents fear, not because the child is bad, but because humans naturally protect what feels threatened. 2. Replace interrogation with curiosity. Many kids stop opening up because conversations start feeling like investigations. Parents ask questions, but emotionally the child feels judged before they even answer. So eventually they say less. Psychology calls this emotional withdrawal. Instead of, what are you doing in there all day? A calmer approach sounds like, you've been spending more time alone lately. How are you feeling? One question creates pressure, the other creates emotional safety. And emotionally safe people usually hide less over time. 3. Set boundaries without humiliation. Here's where many families struggle. Some parents become too strict, others become too passive. But psychologically, children respond best to boundaries that feel respectful and predictable. Not explosive, not random. For example, no phones during dinner. No screens after a certain time. Door can stay closed but not locked all day. These boundaries feel calmer because they focus on balance instead of punishment. And interestingly, children are more likely to cooperate when they feel heard during the process, because humans resist control less when they feel included. Sometimes the phone itself isn't the real issue. The real question is, what emotional need is this device fulfilling? For some kids, it's connection. For others, distraction. For others, validation or escape. A child who feels lonely may become emotionally attached to online friendships. A stressed child may use short videos for emotional regulation. A child struggling with self-esteem may seek validation through social media. And if parents only remove the phone without understanding the emotional need underneath, the behavior usually comes back in another form. Because psychology says unmet emotional needs always search for another outlet. 5. The child will react emotionally. At first, this part is important. When parents suddenly introduce healthier boundaries, children may react strongly. They may become irritated, defensive, quiet, or even angry. And many parents assume, see, the phone has ruined them. But psychologically, sudden emotional reactions often happen whenever dopamine-based habits are interrupted, especially with social media and constant stimulation. The brain temporarily feels discomfort. That discomfort is real. But over time, calm consistency matters more than emotional arguments. Children usually trust emotionally stable parents more than emotionally reactive ones. 6. The goal is connection, not surveillance. The healthiest families usually don't rely only on monitoring. They rely on emotional connection. Because children naturally become more honest when they don't fear humiliation every time they make a mistake. The interesting thing is, many teenagers actually want guidance. They just don't want constant judgment. They want parents who can listen without immediately exploding, comparing, threatening, or dismissing their feelings. And psychology shows that emotional intelligence inside the home often reduces secrecy more effectively than strict surveillance ever can. 7. Sometimes the smallest moments matter most. Many parents wait for serious conversations, but trust is usually built in smaller moments. Eating together, driving together, laughing together. listening without interrupting. Because emotionally, children open up more when connection feels natural instead of forced. And sometimes the reason a child spends all day behind a locked door is because outside that door, nobody really feels emotionally available anymore. Final conclusion. At first, the locked door feels like the problem, but often, it's just the symptom of something deeper. A child trying to balance identity, emotions, social pressure, privacy, and independence in a world their brain is still learning how to handle. And the truth is, most children don't need perfect parents. They need emotionally aware ones. Parents who can create boundaries without destroying trust. Because in the long run, connection usually protects children more than control ever will. Sometimes the strongest door a parent can open isn't the bedroom door. It's emotional trust. If you enjoy understanding human psychology, relationships, and behavior, subscribe for more.